Hi there, my name is Anne. Welcome to this week's video where I revamped this planter from this into this. And about a month or two ago, it was the start of March, I went into Homebase and I picked up a few little pots of cuprinol paint in different shades. And I got a paintbrush and the sanding blocks in a type of pound shop. And the primers from Homebase. I was drawing on a notebook kind of different ideas of what I wanted on the front of it, and I kind of settled on maybe doing a mountain scene, and I also had a trellis. So I start by drying it out and then in the sun, and then I knew I had to have drainage holes, so I got the drill and drilled a load of drainage holes in the bottom of it. I had these strawberry plants for about a month, and the peas and the beans since February, so they were too long in their container. I knew I needed to plant them up. I don't even know if I was using the right drill bit, but I knew I needed to add drainage holes. Then I move it away from the wall and I give it a brush down with just the garden brush that I use for brushing the path sometimes. I have a yard brush, but I use this one for the finer brushing. And then I knock it out onto the lawn. And I had this trellis, as I said. I have that for maybe a year. It was €8 the trellis, I think, in another pound shop. I think you can get it for cheaper, probably in deals now. And I had these picket boards. You could use pallet boards as well, and I placed out the trellis where I wanted it, and then I got these boards and placed them out where I wanted them as well. So the picket ones were a little wider than the top board going across. The board that was at the top was actually off a pallet. So, and then I was just kind of playing around which way I wanted the trellis. I wasn't sure if I was going to have it horizontal or vertical. So then I was like, I better measure to see how wide it is. But because this is a roughly made up planter box that I had from a year or two, that it wasn't exactly straight. So the top wouldn't have been the same as the bottom. So I had to measure it again at the top. And there's this thing where you measure twice and cut once. I think I measured it a few times. Then I was just kind of eyeballing it really, because I just held the board up against where it was, and I got the pencil and cut it. And these screws, I was reusing them from when I had the raised planter. I pulled out a bit of a raised planter that I had there last year, and there were screws on that I just was reusing. I was reusing some of the boards as well. I ended up just holding the top board at the very top and getting a pencil and marking it down. I know this isn't the right saw. It's actually a pruning saw for pruning a tree. I don't have a regular saw. And there's a gap there between the back boards and the back of the planter, so I covered it up as well. And I thought I might finish it off, make it look square. Now, I'm not going to paint the trellis because there's peas growing up it, and I was like, I don't know if they should be growing around paint. I don't know. I'm sure it'll be alright. But I just screwed in the trellis then at the top and at the bottom. It's not really secured against the sideboards. I couldn't find screws that were small enough that wouldn't go through all the way. I had four little screws that I was able to use. I saved these compost bags, so I was able to trim them to fit along the edge, but I was leaving the bottom open because I was going to actually I ended up putting in cuttings off the forsythia that had been there for about a month, just to not have it all compost. I sanded it down with the sanding block. Then I put down a bit and put the compost bags that I didn't use under the board and primed it with the primer, and then I wait for it to dry, and then I filled it with the twigs aside, the branches that were cut off from the forsythia, and then I had grass cuttings and I put that in as well, so that took away a lot of that space. It probably will kind of fall down in time, but then I put the compost in and then I was ready to plant up. So here are the beans and the peas that I grew from seed from February, and they were too long in their pot. Then I had 2 different types of strawberries. Here you can see how pot bound the bean was. That one belonged to, I named them Howard. So there was Howard, Mark and Gary. All of Gary's ones grew, but Howard had the tallest bean. And I placed them at the back so they can grow up the trellis. The beans can grow up the trellis. Not the beans, the peas can grow up the trellis. And then I had the beans in front of the peas, so they will grow there. And then I planted all the strawberries. On one side I planted the Elsanta Strawberries, there's 6 of them. And then on the right hand side I planted the Ananassa Strawberries. So I had the Elsanta Strawberries and the Ananassa Strawberries. And I got Elsanta because it sounded like, at the time I thought it sounded like Alessandro, which was my inspiration for making up this planter from a spicy mustache. I think the name of the video was the cheapest way to turn your yard into an organic vegetables garden. So then I had this net and I covered up the strawberries and the beans and the peas. So hopefully keep the cats off. There it is. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.